Hey guys, welcome to Get Closer to Penang Heritage. I'm your host for today, Brandon Pulaiten. As you all can see, we are in a very luxury building known as Penang Suffolk House. So, according to my research, this is a great place for fine dining and also for event planning. However, we are not here for all those meals. We are here for the story. Now, let's welcome Miss Loh Lim to tell us more about the architecture and also the history of Penang Suffolk House.
I am Loh Lim, and I've been involved in conservation for the last 30 over years. I was fortunate enough to be involved in the conservation and restoration of the Chong Fat Si Mansion, as well as Suffolk House here. And both these projects have won top UNESCO awards. One, Chong Fat Si has won, the most excellent project in heritage conservation in year 2000. And Suffolk House has won the award of distinction in 2008. These are international, awards which recognize very good conservation work. That means, putting back not just the materials, not just, we're not just talking of plaster and paints, but we're talking of the whole, what we refer to in conservation as the spirit of place. Meaning, you don't introduce things which don't seem to fit with the house. Suffolk House is dated around 1808. Some dispute maybe 1806, maybe 1808, but certainly by 1808 it would have been built. This was an estate that was owned by Captain Francis Light. It was also part of the estate left in his will to his common-law wife called Martina Roselles, and was eventually sold to a man called W.E. Phillips. W.E. Phillips has now been seen to be probably the man who built the Suffolk House that we know. What you see here today, and I'm not sure, how much of the video will show actually Suffolk House as it stands today. It's actually a smaller version of what was originally built. MBS, or Methodist Boys School, was at one time using Suffolk House. And there may be still people around who remember going to school at MBS, certainly remember having their canteen and their tuck shop at Suffolk House. Unfortunately, it underwent, shall we say, great neglect. It deteriorated. It has been referred to as the first great house of Penang. I think this house has shown a great spirit of survival. Throughout its history, people have tried to give up on the house and say, JKR certainly was the last to say, cannot be saved, knock it down, And yet it stood. And I think the Penang Heritage Trust has a tremendous amount to do with this. The Penang Heritage Trust has helped. And I think the most beautiful thing about the conservation of Suffolk House is that we managed to save the surroundings. So there's a beautiful river which was all portrayed in the early paintings. All the artists of the early 19th century not only painted Suffolk House, they painted the river, they painted the trees, they painted, the fields and the hills behind. And all that is still in place. And I think that's very important, because very often what you see today is a building without its surroundings. In architecture, we call it the curtilage. That means, the trees, the garden, the spread. And it's pointless having a heritage building and 30-story high-rise blocks, all around it.
Yes.
It's pointless because it is the surroundings that also make the house. I mean, I, for example, am a 5th generation Penangite. My great-great-grandmother has been here. So to me, that is the heritage, not the fact that we're in this particular building, which is nice that it's there. but the building itself becomes empty without the community in it. And I think that is one of the most important messages that I think young people in the education in heritage partner should be emphasized, that it is not just buildings, it is the people and community within the building. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So this is the end of our video. So at last, I hope after this video, you guys can learn how to preserve our Penang heritage area and also appreciate the effort of those who protect them before us. So please, after this video, go follow the social media of Kia Penang Heritage. That's all for today. Thank you.